If you're a startup founder looking for non-dilutive funding opportunities, I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how to tackle the most common prompts on any grant application. As a professional grant writer who has secured over $10 million of non-dilutive funding for startups across many different industries, time and time again, I've seen the same 5 prompts on pretty much 99% of any grant application or federal contracts. And they are: 1, what is your problem statement? 2, what is your innovation or solution? 3, what are your proposal objectives? 4, what are your future directions? And 5, who is on your team? I know you're thinking,
Stacy, those questions are so easy to answer.
well, think again. And while those questions seem straightforward, they actually require a lot of strategic thought and analyses in order to put together a really strong response. There's actually a lot of information you have to jam into responding to those prompts that reviewers are looking for when reviewing these grant applications. So if you're looking to submit a grant application, make sure you watch until the end of this video so that you'll gain a solid understanding on how to structure your grant application's responses, which would empower you to prepare any grant possible to wow reviewers. And better yet, you can ultimately take these responses and adapt them to many different grant applications so you can capture all the different funding opportunities possible for you and your startup. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Stacy Chin from KeepYourEquity.co, and our mission is to help startups secure non-dilutive funding for federal programs called the SBIR and the STTR. If you're interested in learning more about those programs and how they can fund you and your startup, I'll leave a link to another video in the description below. And we also consult lots of other private and public businesses as well as NGOs to help them secure grant funding to support projects that will make a big impact on some of today's biggest global issues. So before we jump into it, if you can take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel, by doing so, you'll gain a wealth of knowledge of how you can secure non-dilutive funding for your startup. And of course, don't forget to check out our website at KeepYourEquity.co, where you'll find lots of other resources, templates, and advice on how you can secure non-dilutive funding. All right, now let's get into it. The first and most common question you'll have to address in any grant or federal contract is: what is the problem statement? Here, your goal is to showcase your deep understanding of the problem statement, and that will help to set the stage for a strong and impactful proposal. To do so, you want to effectively communicate the specific problem your project will solve. Before you begin writing, you'll first want to thoroughly research the problem by gathering relevant data, statistics, and real-life examples to support your understanding of the problem's scope and impact. Then, in your first paragraph, clearly define the problem by articulating the problem statement just in a couple of sentences in a very concise and compelling manner. Focus on the core issue your startup seeks to tackle. Here, you want to avoid any broad generalizations at all costs. Statements like "cancer is bad," or "we have to fight climate change" just won't cut it. Make sure you highlight the significance and urgency of the problem by demonstrating why it needs immediate attention. And most importantly, you want to prepare your responses by backing up your problem statement with concrete evidence to establish credibility and to demonstrate the problem's relevance. So to provide context and evidence, you want to use data, studies, expert opinions, or antidotes to substantiate your claims. And this helps funders to better understand the gravity of the problem and the needs for your proposed solution. Now, to take it one step further, I always encourage my clients to quantify the problem's impact wherever possible. This is mandatory if you want to make a really compelling argument. Here include metrics and key statistics to showcase the scale of the problem, such as the number of individuals impacted, economic losses incurred, or social consequences. And this will allow funders to grasp the magnitude of the problem and recognize the potential for significant change. Lastly, when presenting the problem statement, you want to be clear, concise, and straight to the point. Not only does this create urgency, but it also helps position the problem statement so deeply that punches the reviewers in the gut. Remember, these reviewers are sometimes reviewing dozens of applications at once, so you want to make sure your problem statement stands out. Now, the second most common question you'll have to address on any grants or federal contracts is: what is your innovation or solution? So once you set up the stage by introducing the problem statement, immediately you'll want to introduce the knight in shining armor, which is your innovation or solution to solve that problem. Here, your goal is to present the solution or innovation in such a manner that the funding agency just wants to give you their money. So what is the best way to respond to this prompt in your grant application or federal contract? Here's the key. Not only do you want to introduce the idea of what is your innovation or solution, but you also want to highlight the impact and benefits if successful. And to do so, you want to emphasize your value proposition and the potential impact. Startups miss this all the time, despite being such an important aspect when describing your innovation or solution. With that being said, once you describe what is your innovation or solution, you want to immediately explain how it would directly address the problem statement that you define. Here, clearly articulate the core features and functions functionalities of your innovation or solution by emphasizing its uniqueness and differentiation from other existing approaches. Next, highlight the value proposition by articulating the specific value your solution or innovation brings to the table. Explain how it would improve upon existing methods or offers an innovative approach that has not yet been explored. Here, you want to show off why your innovation or solution is so unique by highlighting the benefits and advantages over competing approaches. And when describing your innovation, you also want to emphasize how these innovative elements can set your innovation or solution apart and how it positions you to make it more efficient, scalable, and effective. The next common prompt is, what are your proposal objectives? In other words, if the funding agency were to give you money, what are you going to use the money for? In my opinion, this is the prompt that will take the longest time to answer. And some can argue this is probably the most important response of any grant application or federal contract. So whatever proposal objectives you want to present, whether they're technical objectives, specific aims, milestones, make sure each objective is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. In other words, each objective should be well-defined, quantifiable, and attainable within a project timeline. And you want to make sure all these objectives can be stacked up so that eventually it would help to solve that big particular problem that you've defined in the first place. So how do you do this? You want to ensure that your objectives are aligned to the problem you're trying to address and the solution you're proposing. Demonstrate how achieving these objectives will contribute to solving that problem and advancing your innovation. Next, divide those objectives into smaller, manageable milestones. And this helps to demonstrate a really clear roadmap for achieving your overall goals. So for each objective, walk the reviewer through exactly how you plan to carry out each step of that objective by presenting a procedure. Also, emphasizing the impact upon completing that milestone will have upon your project, as well as long-term implications. Finally, discuss how achieving these objectives will lead to tangible outcomes, such as improved processes, increased efficiency, or measurable results that will align to the desired impact on the problem you're trying to address. And finally, the last but most important part, in my opinion, is to provide quantifiable metrics that will indicate how you'll measure success after each of these objectives have been completed. And this could include numeral targets, percentages, user engagement metrics, or any relevant quantifiable metrics, because these clear metrics will allow reviewers to understand how you plan to evaluate your project's results and progress. The fourth most common prompt you'll have to address on any grant application or federal contract application is, what are the future directions? 99% of the chance these public, private, or federal agencies will want to know, what are your plans for growth if you were successful upon completing the proposal efforts? These funders simply don't want to give funding to startups, have them complete the grant, and then just stop there. I mean, what's the point? So to address this prompt, startup founders should articulate their plans for continued growth, development, and sustainability of the proposed project. And to do so, you'll want to discuss how the project can be scaled or expanded in the future. You'll want to highlight potential avenues for growth, such as entering new markets, reaching a larger audience, or expanding the scope of your solution. Here, it's important to demonstrate that your startup has considered the potential of broadening the project's impact beyond the initial implementation. Another strategy you want to entertain is to explain how your project will be sustained after the grant period is completed. Here, you want to discuss ways on how you plan to secure ongoing funding, generate revenue, or seek alternate funding sources. And this will help give reviewers the opportunity to understand how you plan to create long-lasting impact, as well as how to engage with relevant stakeholders to ensure the project's sustainability. Finally, the fifth most common prompt that you'll have to respond to on any grant application or federal contract is, who is on your team? And so for this prompt, founders would likely have to give an overview of each individual involved in the project's goals, as well as their qualifications. So to respond to this prompt, you'll first want to introduce who are the core members of your team that are driving the project forward. Provide their names, their roles, and a brief overview of their background and expertise. Here, make sure to mention the relevant experiences and skills they bring to the table that are directly relevant to the proposal efforts. Some things you can mention are their background, professional achievements, and any notable industry awards or domain-specific expertise that they are known for. Here, your goal is to show how their skill sets and knowledge can directly contribute to the success of the project. And importantly, you'll want to highlight any notable achievements or successful projects these team members have completed in their past that help to dictate your future success. And by doing so, you'll give reviewers the confidence that you have all the right people in place with the right domain expertise to help execute the current project and its goals. So with that, thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you found these tips helpful so that you can tackle the most common prompts that you'll encounter on any grant application or federal contract. And if you haven't done so, please like this video and subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. And don't forget to check out the website at keepyourequity.co, where you find lots of other resources, templates, and advice on how you can secure non-dilutive funding throughout your fundraising journey. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, and I'll see you in a video very soon.